Help yourself. To a suck from the basket, but only one!
This thing is not a stray puppy you can make into a pet. It has no business being here.
Wouldn't you say the same of an apostate?
Inquisitor, I wondered if Cole was perhaps a mage, given his unusual abilities.
He can cause people to forget him, or even fail entirely to notice him. These are not the abilities of a mage. It seems that Cole is a spirit.
It is a demon.
If you prefer, although the truth is somewhat more complex.
Cole warned us about Corypheus at Haven. He saved a lot of lives.
And what will its help cost? How many lives will this demon later claim?
In fact, his nature is not so easily defined.
Speak plainly, Solas. What are we dealing with?
Demons normally enter this world by possessing something. In their true form, they look bizarre, monstrous.
But you claim Cole looks like a young man. Is it possession?
No. He has possessed nothing and no one. And yet he appears human in all respects. Cole is unique, Inquisitor. More than that, he wishes to help. I suggest you allow him to do so.
In my studies, demons either possessed something from this world, or were summoned and bound. They almost never look like something you'd mistake for a person.
Normally you'd be correct. But Cole has willfully manifested in human form without possessing anyone.
The demons who came through the breach, or through the rifts, weren't possessing anything.
These demons were drawn through against their will, driven mad by this world. But Cole predates the breach. From what we can tell, he has lived here for months, perhaps years. He looks like a young man. For all intents and purposes, he is a young man. It is remarkable.
I should hear what Cole has to say for himself. Where is he now?
If none of us remember him, he could be anywhere.
Haven. So many soldiers fought to protect the pilgrims so they could escape. Choking fear. can't think from the medicine, but the cuts rack me with every heartbeat. Hot, white pain. Everything burns. I can't. I'm going to... I'm dying. I'm... dead.
You're feeling their pain.
It's louder this close, with so many of them.
Would you like to go somewhere more comfortable?
Yes, but here is where I can help. Every breath slower, like lying in a warm bath, sliding away. Smell of my daughter's hair when I kiss her goodnight. Gone. Cracked brown pain, dry, scraping, thirsty. Here.
Thank you.
It's all right. She won't remember me.
Solus tried to explain what you are, but honestly, I stopped listening after a while. Any chance you could explain it?
Yes? I used to think I was a ghost. I didn't know. I made mistakes, but I made friends too. Then a Templar proved I wasn't real. I lost my friends. I lost everything. I learned how to be more like what I am. It made me different, but stronger. I can feel more. I can help.
If you're willing, the Inquisition could use your help.
Yes, helping. I help the hurt, the helpless. There's someone. Hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Someone make it stop hurting. Make her, please. The healers have done all they can. It will take him hours to die. Every moment will be agony. He wants mercy. Help.
You say he won't die for hours yet, but you can't know that for certain.
His body is failing.
He could recover, or the healers could find another way to help him.
How do you know?
I don't, and neither do you. That's part of life.
Try. I want to stay.
What, Pete? People who need him. That is so vague as to be made.
Our mounts have never had better. Perhaps Master Dennett will join us now. Space like this needs an expert.
Send men to scout the area. We need to know what's out there.
Yes, sir.
Commander, soldiers have been assigned temporary quarters.
Very good. I'll need an update on the armory as well. Now! We set up as best we could at Haven, but could never prepare for an archdemon, or whatever it was. With some warning, we might have...
We were all...
If Corypheus strikes again, we may not be able to withdraw. Work on Skyhold is underway. We will not run from here, Inquisitor. Most of our people made... Morale was low, but has improved greatly since you accepted the role of Inquisitor.
Inquisitor Trevelyan. It sounds odd.
Not at all.
Is that the official response?
I suppose it is. But it's the truth. We needed a leader. You have proven yourself.
If we need to start over...
Once repairs are complete, I will do everything I... Inquisitor?
I'd like to know more about the...
What would you like to know?
Why did you join...
I could think of no better calling than to protect. At first, they merely humored me. But I must... The Knight Captain spoke to me. I was 13 when I left home.
13?
I wasn't the youngest there. Still, I didn't take on full responsibilities until I was 18.
What about your family?
Of course, but there were many my age who felt the same. We learned...
Prior to the Conclave, I'd only...
Templars protect against the dangers of magic. They were also tasked with tracking apostates, or fighting demons in ever...
You've made it clear that you can...
Any mage can be. I've seen the suffering magic can inflict. That was unworthy of me. Not that I want mages moving. We need safeguards in place to protect people, including mages, from possession.
I know how I spent my time in this...
Typical.
Before that.
Certain rituals require a full guard. Most of the time, you merely maintain a presence. Mages pretend to ignore that presence, but they're watching you just as closely.
We would spend all day with Temp...
A habit often mistaken for coldness, I'm sure. But if a mage is possessed or uses blood magic, of course, ignoring one another does nothing to foster understanding.
What does Temp...
There is weapon and combat training. Initiates must also memorize portions of the Chant of Light, study history, and improve their mental focus.
Did you...
I wanted to learn everything.
You were a model.
Watching a candle burn down while I admit, my mind sometimes wandered.
Do Templars take vows?
There's a vigil first. You're meant to... When it's over, you give yourself to a life of service. As Templars, we are not to seek wealth or acknowledgement.
That's all.
Should you... Was there something you needed?
I should get to know you better.
What would you...
All right.
I grew up in Ferelden, near Honleath. Traveling to Haven was the first I'd returned in almost 10 years.
You were away from Ferelden for 10 years.
Strange. I was not sorry to leave Ferelden, but leaving Haven was more difficult than I would have... It felt like I was abandoning my home. I never thought...
You were in Ferelden.
No. I would... The Circle had troubles of its own.
What happened at the...
Few who survived the Blight have fond memories of that time.
What was Kirk...
While I was there, Canary occupied and then attacked. Relations between mages and Templars fell apart. Other than that, it was fine.
What happened between...
You were at the Conclave.
Yes, but you...
There was tension between mages and... There was fighting in the streets. Abominations be...
What happened then?
The Templars should have restored order, but she threatened to kill Kirkwall's champion. Turned on...
So you opposed...
I stood with the champion against her, in the end. But I should have seen through merit...
Varric's from Kirkwall.
I knew he was friends with the... We've spoken more since I joined the Inquisition. Apparently, I spend too much time with a serious expression on my face, and it's bad for my health.
I'll let you...
Another... Yes?
Is there anything I should...
I'm glad to have the charges on... Despite evidence to the contrary.
What do you think...
Who do you mean?
What do you think...
We have little in common. How she... But I enjoy working with her.
How do you like...
The Inquisition... I may not always agree with her. Cassandra may have declared the Inquisition publicly.
Are you satisfied?
Our soldiers are... Templars and mages are not used to seeing each other as allies.
I should...
Inquisitor?
Is there any...
Repairs to Skyhold's fort... We are fortunate Solus knew of this place.
Did you...
No.
No one...
I can't say I was looking. Honestly, I was not good.
I take it you're...
Between the needs of the Inquisition and...
That's all for...
I'm sure...
Inquisitor? Is there something I can do for you? I should really focus my attention.
Do we have...
Fewer by the day. As for the rest, they either... I try to make the passing painless. The commander brought... I'd been helping the pilgrims in... We need all the help we can get.
You aren't a maid.
Magic can't cure... Science, your... Good health isn't magic. It's diet, exercise, and...
As you...
Your worship.
Scout Harding,
Your worship.
shouldn't you be...
In a bit. Not me, though. Indispensable.
So who...
Me? When the Inquisition came through, then I signed on. Wanted to see the world before it was...
What's been going...
Seeker Cassandra came through. That's just her face, though, isn't it?
Drills upon drills. Familiarity. You are a quick study, Knight Enchanter.
So... that took... The things magic can do are fascinating.
Inquisitor, huh? Speaking of which, when you've got a second, there's something I want to show.
I'd like to know more...
Ben Hasrath is actually a general. You've got the re-educators who... And then you've got the spies.
How do the...
I only know the basics. Keep a man awake long enough. Ask the rest. You don't need blood magic or demons to change someone's mind.
You can alter some.
One of my friends was a re-educator. When you examine a memory, you're... Write a few notes in the margins of the page. I always felt a little weird reading after that conversation.
The re-educators.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. What happened? They just lop your head off. At least the Qunari try to fix you.
None of those...
Yeah. They sent me to Saharan because they needed someone. That whole island was a sack of cats. Incursions. And in the middle, me. Trying to wrangle the rebels and restore order.
You seem like the type who...
There's a good fight, and there's finding out. I hunted down a lot of rebels. Lost a lot of friends. One day I woke up and couldn't think of a damned reason to keep doing my job. Turned myself into the re-educators.
Not many...
I thought about letting some rebel kill. The Ben Hasrath ordered me to go to Orlais. That's how I ended up here.
Thanks for the...
No problem. Anyway. How's it going?
I'd like to know more about the Qunari.
You writing a book?
What I've heard about them.
What you've heard? All right. What do you want to know?
How do the Qunari...
It's pretty simple. We've got the matriarch. The priesthood figures out how Qunari should live in... And the military keeps the Qunari safe from out...
Does it actually work like...
Not like you're thinking of. Here in Orlais, politicking comes... If you do that among the Qunari, the Ben Hasrath sets you straight. Oh,
I heard there's no...
yeah, that's true. Qunari
Qunari don't...
Oh, we definitely have sex. That...
Serious?
Yes. It's not a big deal, like... Sometimes it's this long, involved. Other times you're in and out in 5 minutes. Thank you. See you next week.
Sometimes I think I understand how different the...
Yep. Still, it's more fun here. Fewer ritual. Plus, you folk have redheads. Redheads.
How is everyday life?
Depends on your job. A baker in Val Royeaux gets up, gets dressed. They don't care about the Empire or the Q. Mostly they worry about break.
It can't be exact.
How many personal freedoms do you... The baker in Parvolin wonders if... Will the kitchen workers get her bread? Same crap in Val Royeaux.
What's it like?
The Tomasrans raise us in these units of kid. They also help figure out what jobs we should... When they learned I could hit stuff and lie, they started training me for the Ben Hasrath.
So the Qun decided...
I could have acted like I was good at my work. I liked doing it. Far as I...
Do you ever think about what...
Some folks, like Cassandra or Cullen, would do fine if they did. Vivienne's too political. Dorian's too arrogant. They'd kill Cole, cause, you know, demon. And Sarah would end up with... So, to answer your question, no, I don't.
The word Qunari.
Both. The humans and elves who follow the Q. The Qunari who break away from the Q are Talvasha.
What about Qunari?
The people we came from. They're called the Kossith. We came south to Thedas because the Kossith were... But I don't expect they look much like us.
See you later.
Nice talk. What can I do for you?
So how did you get the name...
I picked... We don't have names under the Q. When I came to Orlais, I chose the Iron.
But why...
This may surprise you. Also, it's the. It makes it sound like I'm not even a... That really works for me. Nah. What's going on?
What did you want me to come see?
Here.
Why am I dressed like this?
You'll see. Come on. It'll be worth your time, I promise. Evening. Iron Bull. My merc band just joined up.
Tanner. I'm from Jader. Well, near Jader.
Mira. I was guard captain for Lady Pendel. Signed on after shit blew up at the Conclave. Share a drink? Who's your friend?
This is Grim. He doesn't talk much. So, you ready to kill some demons? Or Venatori, or whatever that Corypheus asshole is?
This isn't just about killing. We're helping the Inquisitor save the world and build the next empire.
Well, long as I get paid, I'm happy. That's why I signed up.
I just couldn't spend my whole life on a farm. Needed to live a little, you know.
What about you, Mira? Why'd you join up? I thought you were serving some noble.
I saw what happened at Haven. The Inquisitor staring down that monster and his archdemon. I don't sing the chant of light as much as I should. But you can't see something like that and not believe.
Well, Grim and I should find our tents. Thanks for the drink. I know every soldier under my command. You don't have that option, but a few faces might help.
You made it sound like you didn't like the Inquisition.
People don't always tell the truth when you're polite. You've got to poke them a bit.
I knew some of the soldiers felt like...
It's hard to be just an idea sometimes. It's why you could stand right in... You've got a good army coming along.
Someone left sliced plums on the windowsill again. The juice is attracting flies. There are spiders everywhere. The plums were right in front of me, but I can't quite recall who took them.
It's you. Your worship. Very well.
Inquisitor. We're happy to be here, your worship. You need anything, let me know.
Iron Bull said the Chargers...
I suspect it might be worth sending the boys back. We could even pick up any stragglers who haven't found Skyhold yet.
Can we talk?
Best company you'll find. In my time with the Chief, we've gone up against... We're expensive, but you'll never doubt we're worth it. Want to know any...
Do the Chargers...
Bull doesn't want us large enough to work as an army. We're better as shock troops. We've got archers for hitting enemy infantry, Dalish with more archery, Rocky handles fortifications and traps, and I'll lead the frontline fighters with Grim, and the Chief goes wherever he can hit something.
Are there rules?
If you don't want some... There's also a code of conduct most companies hold. We accept surrenders for ransom from mercenaries, nobles, and soldiers. Our prisoners are treated well, injuries tended. We'd want the same for...
You said something about...
Right. Sylvans. Some noble in the Dales, and they really don't... His family had abandoned the land, but he wanted it back. Between the axes and the torches, the Sylvans weren't too bad. Worst part.
We'll talk.
What's going on? See you later, Bo. Nice talking with you, Bo.
Inquisitor?
I'd like to know...
The Chief. I never thought I'd work for... He's not like any commander I've ever worked for. That's what damn
How's Iron...
If you know what you're doing and hold up... It keeps us alive, he leads from the front, and if you've an idea that... I've seen bands whose captains had to prove they were sweet. The Chargers might give him more lip than you'd expect, but every one of us would lay down our lives for the big ass.
How did a Tevinter soldier...
I wasn't a soldier at the time. A Tribune and his men caught me in a border town tavern. Bull killed them. Gave up his eye doing it. I've been putting up with his jokes ever since.
That's...
Yes. The guards... One of them saw trouble coming and... The guard had a flail. Bull... Big horned idiot. Didn't even know me.
Is it strange?
He hasn't tried to convert us to... Bull's Chargers don't care who you lie to come. If he hadn't told me he was Ben Hasroth, I'd have thought he'd left that life behind.
I didn't expect he'd...
Not the whole band, but it figures most of us would find out sooner or later. It's never messed up a job. He just writes letters back home.
We'll talk.
Oh! Morris, stores are growing, and so long as we have...
What makes you...
My family has ties.
And your...
My family holds treaties.
And your...
To be honest, Your Worship, I am the nexus of a dozen, but I will rise to the occasion. Skyhold...
The previous...
She... had viewed. I believe it was felt that your quartermaster should be more... She continues to serve, just not at the fort.
How's it...
Our capacity increases. It was... exhilarating. We... Nothing? Unfortunate. I don't know.
You knew where Hawk was all along!
You're damned right I did.
You conniving little shit!
You kidnapped me! You interrogated me! What did you expect?
I expected you to tell the truth! I told you what was at stake!
So I just... Look at her. She's finally lost it.
Hawk would...
Drills upon drills. Familiarity.
Oh! Stores are growing, and so... But... She continues to serve. It was...
You knew where Hawk was all along!
You're damned right I did.
You conniving little shit!
You kidnapped me! You interrogated me! What did you expect?
Hey! Enough!
You're taking his side?
I said enough!
We needed someone to lead this Inquisition. First, Liliana and I searched for the hero of Ferelden, but he had vanished. Then we looked for Hawk, but he was gone too. We thought it all connected, but no. It was just you. You kept him from us.
The Inquisition has a leader.
Hawk would have been at the Conclave if anyone could have saved Most Holy...
You can't change the past, Cassandra.
So I must accept... what? That the Maker wanted all this to happen? That he... Varric is a liar, Inquisitor. A snake. Even after the Conclave, when we needed Hawk most, Varric kept him secret.
He's with us now. We're on the same side.
We all know whose side you're on, Varric. It will never be the Inquisition's.
Attacking him now won't help us, Cassandra.
Ha! Exactly.
And you better not be keeping anything else from us.
Ah, I understand.
I must not think of what could have been. We have so much at stake. Go, Varric. Just go.
You know what I think? If Hawk had been at the temple, he'd be dead too. You people have done enough to him.
I believed him. He spun his story for me and I swallowed it. If I just explained what was at stake, if I just made him understand. But I didn't, did I? I didn't explain why we needed Hawk. I'm such a fool.
What if you hadn't believed him, and you tracked Hawk down?
Honestly, Hawk might not even have agreed to become Inquisitor. He supported the Mage Rebellion, after all. He wouldn't have trusted me for a second. But this isn't about Hawk, or even Varric. Not truly. I should have been more careful. I should have been smarter. I don't deserve to be here.
Have you looked at our Inquisition, Cassandra? We're all fools here.
Is that supposed to make me feel better?
More at home, maybe.
I want you to know, I have no regrets. Maybe if we'd found Hawk or the hero of Ferelden, the Maker wouldn't have needed to send you. But he did. You're not what I'd pictured. But if I've learned anything, it's that I know less than nothing. It occurs to me I don't actually...
What do you want to...
I'm not sure.
I thought you knew.
I suppose I could ask Lilia, but I don't want to ask her. I want to hear it from you.
The Circle of Magi at Ostwick.
Yes, I suppose. Tell me, do you consider the Free Marches your home? Are you eager to go back?
Wherever I am.
That's how I feel now, after years of tending to business for the Divine.
I'd like to get to know...
You would?
Is that a...
Not entirely. I'm just curious as to your motivation.
You're a very...
When it's...
I can see why you have...
My name is Cassandra Pentecost, daughter of the Royal... I joined the Seekers of Truth as a... I remained as the Divine... That's all there is to know, my lord.
You're a member...
The Pentecosts are a very large clan.
Really?
No, but it feels that way. And they have them. Oh yes. The Pentecosts value their precious blood like it...
And you joined...
It was a lie. The Pentecosts are famed for drugs. Most are fat and lazy. They pay lip... My brother was all that kept me in Navarra. Once he was gone...
Tell me about your...
I'd rather not.
You don't seem to...
My what little I saw of... My uncle treated me like a porcelain. Thus I did not see Navarra. The real Navarra until much later. By then...
Your uncle?
They had the misfortune of taking... The king executed them, but spared my... Thus we were raised by my uncle. A Mortalitasi who preferred the...
Your uncle was...
A death mage. He still is. The Mortalitasi supervised the... Nevarans spend more time... It is odd to be so fascinated with death and its trap.
So you were the...
To Divine Justinia, yes. The position is normally reserved for Templar.
Unusual, huh?
You don't know? I will tell you if you wish. The short version is that I once saved the previous Divine's life.
But what...
What is your hand capable of? Liliana and I extended it after Beatrix. But Justinia convinced me to stay. Her vision...
You thought she could really...
Justinia knew the... She tried to avert it. Sometimes you have to break a bone. It was to be the answer. I only wish she had lived to see it.
So what's this?
Sweet Andre. It was... what, 8? The tale gets bigger each time it's told. I barely recognize myself.
I'm sure you...
I was... To hear others tell it, I alone saved divine... Rather impressive for...
And the truth is?
I stumbled upon a conspiracy to kill... And there was a dragon battle at the Grand Cathedral. They freed the dragons from magical... Yet I became the right hand. And they are forgotten.
What happened?
They went back to their circles. Many of them died at the Conclave.
An impressive tale.
Just wait till they start telling stories.
I'll let you go.
Something is troubling. Leliana is receiving reports. No one is dealing with these matters. I was hoping we might, before they get worse.
We can certainly...
I will mark the... And I would be pleased to accompany you if and when you investigate.
Can you...
The Seekers of Truth were born from the... Seekers stood above the Templars. We were meant to be incorruptible, above reproach.
But what are...
Those who know anything of... We do not use lyrium, however. We disciplined the Templars and were accountable only to the Divine. And...
So...
No. The Templars have always feared us. That kind of power is troubling. If you don't see a problem, it doesn't exist. If someone insists it does...
Do you think that kind...
Possibly. They were clearly not willing to, even... In my heart, I believe they can still be salvaged.
You mentioned that Seekers...
Entirely. A Templar's ability... Ours come from ritual. We cannot be possessed by demons, and our... Seekers can gain other gifts. Though that depends on...
What kind of...
I can set the lyrium within a person's... Some Seekers use it to interrogate. Once there was a Seeker who could use it to kill. That particular gift is considered...
Why did your order turn...
We originally united with the Chant. It was felt Most Holy had tacitly allowed. The Seekers saw themselves as justified. And they led the...
You sound like you...
We knew what was happening. We looked into reports of Night Command. But we found so many shocking... If we'd been there when it happened, if we'd looked harder at the root causes... Too much. When faced with a... We would find an... The moment the mages voted for independence, our response was...
How does someone...
Most Seekers begin training in their... We train rigorously for years. Our bodies and minds must be elastic to undergo the vigil.
Is the vigil...
It is the rite every Seeker... A full year of fasting. We empty ourselves of... And the moment it finally ends... It's wonderful. Faith realized. I can...
Was it...
I don't fully... If the vigil was... What if mages never... I'm told it is impossible, however.
I've...
What is it?
May I ask you about the...
It is difficult. They have no Templars. It has fallen apart when everyone needs it the most.
Do you really believe that...
If you ask my opinion, cast the Chantry aside and new... The people need... Andraste had a dream for us. It can...
So what should...
A dedication. Instead of building cathedrals and so... If we are to spread the Maker's word across the world, we must do...
That sounds rather...
Does it? The Chantry has many good, honest... They need to be... A chance for renewal is at our fingertips. It does not have to come with attack.
Will the Chantry...
They will Once the priests withdraw for the Grand Consensus, sometimes it takes days. The problem now is that no clear successor to Justinia exists.
So what happened?
Theoretically, they will argue until... Practically, however, if any cleric with ambition but little sense, we shall see what happens. The Inquisition...
If they do choose it...
That depends on whether she would... And even if she would, I am no longer in a position to follow blindly. And no new
I'm surprised you
I left my own order when... But in neither case did I stop. I suppose history shall one day judge my...
Thank you.
Go on, then.
I have...
Why am I not surprised?
Tell me about...
I'd rather not.
I'll...
spiderwebs help stop the bleeding.
Did you see the message I sent?
Yes, thank you.
Any news on rifts beyond reach of the Inquisition?
Yes. And it is not good.
At your service. Inquisitor.
All right.
That got a little heated. Are you all right?
Well, that depends. How angry is Cassandra? I wasn't trying to keep secrets. I told the Inquisition everything that seemed important at the time.
I bet Cassandra regrets how things went back there. You should talk to her.
I appreciate that you're trying to keep the peace, but things between me and the Seeker are as good as they'll get. I keep hoping none of this is real. Maybe it's all some bullshit from the Fade and it'll just disappear. I know I need to do better. I'm sorry. Corypheus is back. Oh, shit.
You said he was a Darkspawn, or a Magister. What is he really?
I'm not sure. I don't think Corypheus really knows either. He's definitely a Darkspawn, but when we found him, it was pretty obvious he hadn't heard that. He thinks he's a Magister, a priest of Dumat, in fact. He says he broke into the Golden City, like in the Chantry tale.
Honestly, I'd rather fight an ancient Darkspawn with a pet archdemon than deal with that hole in the sky. At least you can kill Darkspawn.
We didn't just think Corypheus was dead. He was dead. No pulse, no breath, full of stab wounds. There wasn't a lot of room for doubt. It makes me wonder. I thought the Wardens imprisoned Corypheus to use him. Maybe they did it because he can't be killed.
How did you and Hawk even wind up in a Grey Warden prison for ancient Darkspawn?
Corypheus sent people after Hawk. He actually got control of an entire Carta clan. Made them drink Darkspawn blood. Weird shit. We tracked the Carta to an old dwarven fort or something in the mountains. Of course, it turned out to be a trap. They needed Hawk's blood to open the locks holding Corypheus, and they drew us into the prison to get it.
There has to be a way to defeat Corypheus. We'll find it, don't worry.
I hope you're right. Maker's breath, what have I let loose?
Brutally murdered is not really the same as unleashed upon the world, Varric.
In this case, it might be. But you've got more important things to do than listen to me worry. Just let me know when you want something shot. Need something?
I've read your...
That's a pretty common reaction. Need something?
Carry on.
Need something?
Can I ask you something?
You want to talk about me? Nope.
I ran into Fiona. Seems there's some justice in that after what he did to them. Maybe one day he'll realize it.
Dorian, there's...
A letter?
Not quite.
From my father.
a meeting.
Show me this.
I know my son? What my father knows of me would barely fill a thimble. This is so typical. I'm willing to bet this retainer is a henchman, hired to knock me on the head and drag me back to Tevinter.
You think your father would actually do that?
No, although I wouldn't put it past him. Let's go. Let's meet this so-called family retainer. If it's a trap, we escape and kill everyone. You're good at that. If it's not, I send the man back to my father with a message that he can stick his alarm in his wit's end.
There seems to be bad blood between you and your family.
Interesting turn of phrase. But you're correct. They don't care for my choices, nor I for theirs.
Because you wouldn't get married? Because you left?
That too.
I think you should meet with this retainer. Find out what your family wants.
I didn't ask what you thought, did I? That was unworthy, I apologize. There'd be no harm in hearing what this man of my father's has to say. If I don't like it, however, I want to leave.
That works for me.
I wonder how much my father paid this man to wait around just in case I showed. We'll find out soon enough.
The new power you wield. I heard from Cassandra that it is the magic of the Knight Enchanters. If I am not mistaken, the techniques descend from those of ancient elven mages, called arcane warriors. I wonder what they would think to see their magic used in defense of the Chantry.
I doubt that.
The formal name for the techniques you have learned was the Death. Mages who eschewed physical confrontation called it Gilanim Banalvan, the path that leads astray.
What can you tell me about the
They were elite guardsmen. Mages who focused on spirits or the Fade might sneer at their physicality, but they were the living embodiment of will made manifest. Mind shaping the body into the perfect weapon.
I hope the ancient elven
I hope so as well. Perhaps having something they created carried forward. Did you need anything else?
We'll talk.
Goodbye.
Might be something here. Better take a closer look.
Merchants coming in now say there are countless bodies lying butchered on the side of the road. If not for the Inquisition, it would be even worse.
Good day. Good day. Good day.
Uh-oh, nobody's here. This doesn't bode well.
Dorian.
Father. So the whole story about the family retainer was just, what? A smokescreen?
Then you were told. I apologize for the deception, Inquisitor. I never intended for you to be involved.
Of course not. Magister Parvus couldn't come to Skyhold and be seen with the dread Inquisitor. What would people think? What is this exactly, Father? Ambush? Kidnapping? Warm family reunion?
This is how it has always been.
I should leave you to work this out.
Oh, no, you don't. I want a witness. I want someone to hear the truth.
Dorian, there's no need to.
I prefer the company of men. My father disapproves.
I'll need you to explain that.
Did I stutter? Men, and the company thereof, as in sex. Surely you've heard of it.
This is not exactly news, Dorian.
And why should it be? Why should anyone care? I have no idea.
This display is uncalled for.
No, it is called for. You called for it by luring me here.
This is not what I wanted.
I'm never what you wanted, Father. Or had you forgotten?
That's a big concern in Tevinter, then?
Only if you're trying to live up to an impossible standard. Every Tevinter family is intermarrying to distill the perfect mage, perfect body, perfect mind, the perfect leader. It means every perceived flaw, every aberration is deviant and shameful. It must be hidden.
Your father might be here to reach out. You could give him a chance.
Let's just go.
Dorian, please. If you'll only listen to me.
Why? So you can spout more convenient lies? He taught me to hate blood magic. The resort of the weak mind. Those are his words. But what was the first thing you did when your precious heir refused to play pretend for the rest of his life? You tried to change me.
I only wanted what was best for you.
You wanted the best for you. For your fucking legacy. Anything for that.
You got a lot off your chest. Can't you give him a chance to do the same?
Tell me why you came.
If I knew, I would drive you to the Inquisition.
You didn't. I joined the Inquisition because it's the right thing to do. Once, I had a father who would have known that.
Once, I had a son who trusted me. A trust I betrayed. I only wanted to talk to him, to hear his voice again, to ask him to forgive me.
He says we're alike. Too much pride. Once I would have been overjoyed to hear him say that. Now I'm not certain. I don't know if I can forgive him.
He tried to change you.
Out of desperation. I wouldn't put on a show, marry the girl, keep everything unsavory, private and locked away. Selfish, I suppose. not to want to spend my entire life screaming on the inside. He was going to do a blood ritual, alter my mind, make me acceptable. I found out. I left.
Can blood magic actually do that?
Maybe. It could also have left me a drooling vegetable. It crushed me to think he found that absurd risk preferable to scandal. Part of me has always hoped he didn't really want to go through with it. If he had, I can't even imagine the person I would be now. I wouldn't like that, Dorian.
Are you all right?
No, not really. Thank you for bringing me out there. It wasn't what I expected, but it's something. Maker knows what you must think of me now, after that whole display.
I don't know. It was certainly a spectacle.
Oh? I'm so pleased to provide you amusement.
There has to be a reason I keep you around.
Just the one. My wounded pride. At any rate, time to drink myself into a stupor. It's been that sort of day. Join me sometime, if you've a mind.